everybody. I'm Yetta Gibson. Thanks for joining us here at noon. We start with the latest from the Goodwin Fire that's burning near Mayer, about 14 miles south of Prescott. Fire crews just held a briefing just a couple of hours ago. They say this fire has grown to about 21,000 acres. The fire crossed Highway 69 last night. People who live in the entire town of Mayer has been forced to leave their homes. And we're just hearing the community of Dewey has also been evacuated. And this is rough for people living around those areas, watching this fire continue to grow. Ryan Harrer has been there all morning and was at the briefing that wrapped up just about an hour and a half ago. What can you tell us now? Has anything else developed with this?
Well, yeah, what I think the big headline here is that the fire continues to grow, but we still don't have really any containment, just 1% containment for a 21,000 acre fire. And because of that, we could continue to see those evacuation lists grow as well. As you said, Dewey just got an evacuation notice. All of this despite 600 firefighters on the ground, dozens of vehicles out there right now. You have helicopters and planes in the air dropping all of that red slurry. And still, this fire continues to grow. A big focus today will be the area of Breezy Pines and Poland Junction north of the fire. Those areas have been evacuated as winds from the fire are pushing toward them from the south. In all, 3,000 structures are potentially in the path of this fire. Around 2,000 people total have been evacuated. Roughly 60 people are in a Red Cross shelter at this hour, and everyone is wondering if their home will be there when this is all said and done.
Yesterday at noon, I was watching the smoke and eating lunch outside, and I saw the fire come over the hill, and I decided that I needed to move fast.
We do know that there has been some structures lost. The count on that is unknown, undetermined at this time. And the purpose of not knowing is we still are actively engaged fighting fire, and in some areas it's not safe for us to get in there and get that accurate assessment.
Back out here live, this is not just a battle against 50-foot flames, but also some really dense brush that hasn't burned in 40-plus years. So they will continue to do what they call fuel mitigation, basically knocking down a lot of that brush to ensure that the fire doesn't spread as fast as it could. A reminder that Mayer, Breezy Pines, Poland Junction, and now Dewey are under mandatory evacuations. There could be more evacuations on the way. That includes this very command center, which is in Prescott Valley near Dewey. This is a place where hundreds of firefighters and investigators have come to set up shop for the week, to camp here and get rest when they need and also work out of. Depending on what this fire does, depending on what the wind does, all of these folks may have to pick up and move further away. We'll have to keep a really close eye on this fire today because things are changing at every moment. Yetta?
Our thoughts are with those folks who are affected by this, and of course the firefighters, the men and women on the front lines there. This fire is burning in really rough terrain, and it's moving fast, as you heard Ryan say there. Officials are looking out for lives, and they told families in and around the town of Mayer to leave their homes right away. Some of those families just had less than 30 minutes to grab everything they could.
I think you kind of have to be, but we got all the important things here. We got the kids, the animals, my parents, we're good.
For those displaced, the Red Cross has a shelter in place right now at the Bradshaw Mountain High School. And we've just learned State Route 169 is now closed from I-17 until State Route 69. All right.
Hi, I'm Bruce Hafner, flying in the Penguin Air and Plummet News Chopper, and we're flying over the first big forest fire of the season. Check this out. After destroying some mountain cabins and sparing others, Mother Nature's wall of flames marches on. Fueled by the underbrush growth brought on by a wet Arizona winter, the fire threatens surrounding communities. The wildland fire hotshot crews on the ground and aircraft above did a great job saving many of the structures. And the highway to Prescott, Arizona is closed as the smoke plume blows over the road on a path of destruction. I'm Bruce Hafner, flying in the Penguin Air and Plummet News Chopper.
So the weather is going to be a big factor in all of this.
Yeah, I made this fire explode yesterday. I want to kind of give you a real close look of where this fire is, where it crossed, and where it's potentially going. Here it is, this kind of red outline. It started kind of southwest of Mare, and it pushed to the north and the east. Let's get real close into Mare here. You see the town. This is Highway 69. This road right about here, this is a Nugget Mine Road, if you're familiar with the area. That's where it jumped Highway 69 and started to push to the north and the east. See these little red dots? They're a little tough to make out, but those little red dots, that is a satellite 30,000 feet in the air, 30,000 miles, excuse me, in the air, and it's able to sense heat. So while we don't have a live look at where it is in the mountains, the satellites are able to sense that this thing is pushing to the north and the east. So they're going to be trying to build lines around this area, and they really want to keep this thing from getting up into the Dewey-Humboldt area. Another problem we have with this is smoke, and if you were up in Flagstaff this morning, that's definitely something you're familiar with. You see right here, it's a little faint, but the satellites are picking up this big smoke plume, pumping smoke to the north and the east, and that's going to be an issue for folks along the rim and in Flagstaff and places like Munns Park. Let's talk about what kind of weather we can expect for today. Wind is going to be the biggest problem out there. Yes, it is hot, but also the winds are going to be creating some issues. So here's our fire. Here's Mare. We have southwesterly winds, and it's been blowing this fire toward Mare, toward Humboldt, and kind of right up through Highway 69. Today, we're going to be dealing with warm conditions, 85 to 95 degrees, bone-dry conditions, that's relative humidity, RH 5 to 10%, and then gusty winds, 30-mile-per-hour winds, maybe gusts up to 35. So that's kind of the thing working against firefighters. As far as smoke goes, Pine, places like Payson maybe, Munns Park, Verde, Sedona, Flagstaff, you all might be dealing with smoke as those southwest winds continue to kind of funnel that smoke right up I-17 and into the mountains. So not just people affected by the fire, but surrounding the fire because all that smoke yet.
Thank you. Because of the evacuations in Mare, the post office was forced to shut down. Families wanting to collect their mail can do so right now at the Camp Verde post office. It just started at noon. If you would like to help the people who are affected by the Goodwin Fire, and as you have heard, there are a lot of them now. We've made it very easy for you. Simply donate your change at any Safeway or Albertsons store in Arizona. The money's going to go to the Salvation Army to help all of those people affected. And if you live up in that area, or if you have loved ones who live along the fire lines, you can find up-to-date information on the firefight, as well as shelter information, as well as resources as well. Just go to acfamily.com/wildfires. We're also going to bring you an update at the top of every hour throughout the afternoon and the evening here on CBS 5.